Need for Speed Pro Street is all about competing at the highest level of street racing. The main goal of Pro Street is to dominate each of the 4 racing styles. Most people are familiar with drag racing because it's been in previous Need for Speeds. The big challenge this year is finding a new way to revolutionize the drag race experience without the open world traffic. Staging is where you want to heat up your tires. At the same time, your opponent's heating up his tires beside you. It's kind of a chance for you to try to intimidate your opponent, pour out more smoke when you're cooking your wheels, try to get to the optimal temperature to get as much traction as you can for the next race. And what you really want to do is just time that first shift. If you can nail the perfect shift, you're going to get a good launch off the line and you're going to hopefully get an advantage over your opponent. You can't just unleash the beast though. You really need to manage your throttle because you are driving 800 horsepower monsters. This mode really is all about timing. You want to time your shifts, you want to time your nitrous, you want to do everything a little bit faster and a little bit better than the guy beside you. Need for Speed Pro Street is all about competing at the highest level of street racing.
So, Mortal Kombat X.
Yes, yeah. Mortal Kombat X. So, of course, we see some staples of the series. We got Scorpion and Sub-Zero right there.
Yep. So they quickly went past the sort of variant system, which we'll talk about later.
Okay.
But here you'll be able to see some sort of graphics.
Super sick loading screen.
Thank
really,
you.
Really cool.
Yeah, no, they did a great job. It's sort of the overall goal of keeping that sort of gritty cinematic look throughout everything.
So I see that actually. Is this do we have cinematics before every battle like that?
Yeah, so you'll see these intros where there's a conversation between the 2 characters, and those are custom based upon which characters you use. So they
awesome.
have, you know, story dialogue.
That's really cool. Now I love the character design too of the outfits and everything. Like really, this game feels really overhauled for such a short time. MK9 wasn't too long ago, and MKX just looks like crazy fresh.
Yeah, so what the guys did is the second sort of Injustice was closing down, they immediately went on to next gen with new toys, and they were super excited. So the tech guys have been working on this for years now, really to get it where you're seeing now.
Yeah, and it looks like we're seeing some classic moves like Scorpion's teleport, the trip. The trip was always my favorite because it was like the weirdest animation back in the day. It was like no one else did that thing where they go on the ground and...
Yep, and we all cheated through the arcade using it. So so they have their classic moves, but they're sort of redesigned because this is MKX, next generation of this game, of the characters, everything. So they're gonna feel like the characters you know and love, but you'll see new twists.
Yeah, that's interesting. So he's getting a little help from hell. There it seems like.
So that was the variant system where you can choose from one of 3 sort of variants, obviously, of a character where it sort of adds new moves or twists that kind of fundamentally change the way a character plays. So that was a variant in which he summons this Hell Beast down with help attack for you. And you only get that if you choose one variant. If you choose a different one, you'll get completely different effects that really alter the style of the character.
I'm seeing some interaction with the background now. This is new for me, so that is awesome. He just jumped off the stump in the tree. What the heck?
Yep. So it's something we, with Injustice, really could experiment with because it's a new franchise, and then we took kind of the best features and integrated them with MK. So
you just pulled the thing off the tree.
Yeah. So you can interact with the backgrounds. You can grab things, jump off things. It's just this sort of tight, brutal experience where each background's going to have lots of elements you can use in different ways. And the X-ray.
Yes, of course, the X-ray moves. I love that addition. That was huge and so brutal. These are even nastier, man. You guys went over the top.
Yeah, it's the new hardware, the new engine really let the guys go nuts. So you're seeing, you know, individually modeled bones and organs, and it just gets real.
How do you think gaming has changed over the years?
I think gaming has changed in many ways. I think what we see very clearly when we see a trailer for a video game is the increasing in technology, the ability to increase maps, quality, real life representations of things, both fantastical and based in the real world. I think you're also seeing an increase in just budgets for games. Some games have budgets that are larger than modern day movies. And when you look at it, games are becoming one of the primary ways in which people entertain themselves, be it on a console, on your Steam, or on your phone. So I think gaming has changed from something that was kind of known as, oh, you're a nerd, a geek for being games, something that is in everyone's hands or access at any time, at least in this country. And one thing that's interesting is that while we started off in like maybe 8-bit games and going back to Atari and even before then with Pong, you find people returning back to those old games for sort of nostalgia. And also, those games are the most transferable to our current platform. So I think that the lifespan of games that came out a while ago are being almost magically extended. And we're seeing things never done before in storytelling and entertainment.
When gamers came along, the planet laughed at us. But this is gaming in the future, and you haven't heard The Last of Us. Dismissing this is just an enormous fallacy. So open your mind and let it alter your reality. Hey geeks, I bring a message from the future. There's a new revolution heading to computers. It's 73, but it won't be too long till we can get the TV to play a game of Pong. But it's time to break out of the house. The crazy days of space invaders await us. Arcade potatoes, swap the shooting range for computer games. Arcade renaissance, pre-8-bits booming days. A new decade, welcome to the 80s. Pac-Man's the latest new craze, Qubits the rage. The first personal computers let loose as manic minor graduate time. As the fight is truly useless, elite gave legions of wee little boys. A deep space region of freedom of choice. Now here comes the console, the first one so portended an industry of dimensions untold. The birth of franchise, Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, Monty Mole, Italia, the others. But the list to go on and on, longer than I can tell, until the 90s when the game became handheld. Meanwhile I bought stories of another time and point to click arrive on the shores of Monkey Island. Ever wanna see your chums beat right up? Then down your son you need to try Street Fighter. A tournament with all your buddies in your front room. It's all good until you fight a line on Doom. Hijack your mind, your mama can't abide this. Night trap might lack morals, it's a moral crisis. What are we doing to our youth? They're shooting people glued to screens with super glue. Computers need to be banned when the law's broke. Ban Manhunt, ban Grand Theft Auto. Try something musical, but if you've a sore throat, have what you're after. A rap at the rap. Tomb Raider, the tune invade your brain. Get in away and you'll make it taste the pain. A sport's a game always and it's hard fact. And the game became a sport and its name was StarCraft. Kids used to play with dolls in a house. The Sims is the same but control with a mouse, yeah. Open worlds abound already 3D. Hey, until the Elder Scrolls and GTA. Wait till you see the scale of the monsters and bosses that you face in Shadow of the Colossus. Things are getting bigger, more decision, more maps. Millions of simultaneous players in Warcraft. All the people, so many people. See your whole family can get involved in Wii Sports. And more people means more money, more flair. For big blockbusters, card modern warfare. Even more people, more freedom, more indie games. Limbo, Fez, Super Meat Boy, Brave. Revolutionizing gameplay, a mind blast, constructing infinite destructible worlds. Minecraft, gaming on the telephone, yes I know it sounds absurd. Fruit Ninja, Farmville, Angry Birds.